There's no more scenes in my garden. Thrives, you see my nectarines. And I'm telling you this, and I tell kings and queens, don't ever, ever, ever mess around with my greens. Especially the birds. I might watch Into the Woods. Hey, everybody. So I'm back, and I'm wearing a shirt inspired by my colorful friend that I met yesterday. Um, I got this shirt as part of a competition, the student soybean competition. And I was like, oh, this is such an interesting design. And the lady who designed the shirts was there. And she's like, "Oh, what do you think of the design?" I said, "I This is the most unique shirt I have. I don't have a single shirt like this." So I have one of my old buddies, I guess. Yeah, I'll call him a buddy. One of my buddies did ornithology, bird science in his undergrad. So I was like, "Hey, like," I sent him a picture. I was like, "What is this bird?" He was like, "Oh, that's a red-winged blackbird." I was like, "Oh, red-winged blackbird makes sense." This is a better picture of it that my friend took on his phone. And like in this shirt, the armpits are colorful. Like the whole shirt is like black, except for under the armpit. So that's why I'm wearing this shirt today, or at least for this video. Actually, I might wear it all day. This is a shirt that I got. I wore it for pictures, and then I wore it at the award ceremony. But like I haven't worn it since then. Um, And yeah, when it flew, I could see like the red at the shoulder of its wing. Um, Also, I saw two of these, and they were just chilling. Like this one was walking in the grass, and then it went and perched on one of those like reeds by the water. And then there was another one perched a little further back. When we were walking on campus, like my friend, she got a phone call, and I hear a honk honk behind us. I'm like, okay. And then I hear another honk honk. And so I look back to see if like maybe I need to move to one side of the sidewalk. And there was a pair of geese walking right behind me going across the street. And I freaked out a little bit. Geese, they I don't want to say they scare me, but they're not nice birds. And I don't want to have to fight a goose. And part of me is like, why would you have to fight a goose? Like, why would you even like, girl, stop? That another part of me is like, that was a lot closer to a goose than I want it to be. And then they're just like strolling across the street. I'm like, oh my gosh. I was low key curious if they would like complete the journey or if they would like just stop in the middle of the street. But they walked all the way across the street and they were just letting me know that they were back there with the honk honk noise. So I ripped the page and I see the lunation. I see the moon. I'm like, oh, we're getting the moon today. And I was like, oh, Taurus new moon is today. So new moon is today. A lunar month from new moon to new moon, aka a lunation, averages 29 days, 12 hours, 44 minutes, and 2.8 seconds. So I'm actually going to pull a card for each of those. 29 days, 12 hours, 29 days, 12 hours, 44 minutes till I return. Or however the song goes. That what? Usher, Let It Burn? Okay. But yeah, the red winged blackbirds. And he said that they're frequently around like watery, boggy, marshy places. And that was where I saw them. I was like, oh, so I was like right in its habitat. And that would also explain why I've never seen one because I don't typically frequent areas of that nature. Actually, like real quick, I do want to like Google really quick. Red winged blackbird, spiritual meaning. Why not? Red winged blackbird. Blackbird. Spiritual meaning. Ooh, red winged blackbird. Symbolism, dreams, and messages. Let's see. The blackbird was featured pretty prominently for a minute. Oh my gosh, that's this bird exactly. But it's like it also has like some yellow on its wings and a little bit of green, it looks like. Big changes of a profoundly significant nature are happening all around you. Go with the flow. That's literally allow the world to be rewritten. Okay, so that's what that was. Red winged blackbird. Again, big changes of a profoundly significant nature are happening all around you. Go with the flow. And I saw two of them. In this case, red winged blackbird, this is from spiritanimals.com. In this case, red winged blackbird symbolism is letting you know that the forces of nature are at work. There are significant changes that are coming into your life right now. These changes have been slowly manifesting all around you and are now ready to burst forth and become reality. Thus, if you pay close attention to where you receive the message from the spirit animal, you may be able to foresee what changes are coming. Alternatively, the red winged blackbird meaning may be letting you know that you will be a participant of a close family emotional shift that is important to their personal growth. In other words, you need to stay grounded throughout this shift. You must also be sure that you allow them the space to make the changes necessary. Hence, you must be in a supportive role without inserting your intentions or propaganda. Thus, the red winged blackbird meaning is prompting you to try to be the non judgmental, unconditionally accepting force that provides balance, grounding, and a haven for those experiencing change. Do not participate in the drama, merely be there for them. Similar to the dragonfly, the red winged blackbird symbolism is about omens and mysticism. It will also reveal any fears that are ruling you. The bird will open your energy to receive new adventures and life experiences. Definitely down for that. Occasionally, the red winged blackbird symbolism will be asking you if you have become too territorial. Thus, you may need to allow others into your space so that more collaboration can take place. You do not have to accomplish everything on your own. Okay, there we go. So I'd say yeah. And I guess it's kind of sort of been on my heart lately. There are some family that I have, and it's really about allowing space. And it's, I guess, one of the things in life that I will allow life to unfold. But in the process of that unfolding, I want to hold space, but sometimes it's like I don't know if it's being asked for or if it's wanted. So I'll take that as a little bit of confirmation. And I got my red winged blackbird shirt on today. I'd never thought this shirt would hold any symbolism. But for me, this is a shirt of triumph because I was depressed AF in this space of doing this competition. And I did it with my Libran best friend. And that we have very different work styles. And like when he told me to take it seriously, Five of Pentacles and Justice. When he told me to take it seriously, I don't think he knew how seriously I could take things. And it also sort of triggered my internal justice because like we had to come up with an innovative use of the soy plant, and we had to market it and prototype it. And so when we were coming to the prototype, I'm like, well, our prototype should be like an actual thing. Like it should be the thing. So we have to make the thing. And he was like, our prototype can be just like we can show what like this is gonna be. And I was like, no, we have to do the thing. It has to be the thing. And then he was like, other people are just getting whatever and they're just making it look nice. And I was like, I don't care what other people are doing. We're gonna do this right. So, needless to say, we didn't come first or second or third, which is fine. We were one of the, I think, 11 teams that made it to the finish, and there were like 30 or 40 teams that started. Like, we made it through the elimination round, which was pretty big because our product, we didn't have the technology, the knowledge, the equipment to make what our product was, but we continued to make it anyway. And it was, I don't know, it was a very people focused product. And, you know, it's because of that that I discovered my entrepreneurial spirit. And I was with my good friends yesterday because she graduated. And so I'm a Pisces and she's like a Scorpio and he's a Libra. So sometimes he's just like, I don't want to say he's just there, but oh, yeah, because I told him to take a picture. This is a picture of it perched up next to like this weeping willow looking maybe dogwood tree. I don't know. I don't know what a dogwood is. And there's another picture. There may be some geese in the back. Or was that the second one? No, I think that was still the first one. I'm also going to share this picture. So, hello, it said it saved it to my photos, but like, oh, here we go. Download. I was like, but where is it? We were in the Arboretum. I saw it in an Arboretum, and we were heading to the Japan house. And I was like, I got a picture of the Japan house. I was like, this is the closest to Japan I've ever been. And Japan's been somewhere that I've wanted to visit since the fifth grade because we had a study abroad student in my fifth grade class. I think his name was Shitaro. And he made me a bookmark that had my name on it. I don't know, like I keep everything. And in like high school, I think I found a list of some stuff from the fifth grade. Or I found some stuff from the fifth grade, but I feel like it was in these little blue bins that we have. But I don't know where it is now. I wish I still had that bookmark. But that's what originally sparked my interest in Japan and Japanese culture and stuff like that. So it's been on the list for a while. One second. Oh, snap. Mama D is live. I didn't even finish checking her out. So the Five of Pentacles and Justice. The Five of Pentacles and Justice coming out for the red winged blackbird. It's almost like a we found love in a hopeless place energy. It's almost an energy of like in an area that you may not think is necessarily suitable for. It's not that it's not suitable for life because it's full of life. It's not an environment that's very useful for us as people, right? A lot of like swampy marshland will make it might get like drained or terraformed or turned into something else, something more useful to us. And because of that, all of the animals and creatures that find home there or that call those areas home are displaced. And like my buddy said, the red winged blackbird finds its natural home and habitat in those areas. Also, it said that it's representative of a pretty big shift, a pretty substantial shift taking place. And it feels like there's been this Five of Pentacles energy, and justice is going to come in and, like, ooh, King of Cups. Justice is going to come in, and it almost feels like justice is going to bring this energy up to 10. So if we're at a five, that's going to be a five change to get that 10. If we're at like the eight or the nine or the seven, like yesterday, then that's like, a three, a two, or a one. And it's not about, oh, well, someone's getting all this and I'm not getting anything. We get what we need. So 29 days. Boom. Three of Cups. 12 hours. Five of Cups. 44 minutes. Knight of Pentacles. 2.8 seconds. Queen of Pentacles. Bottom of the deck. Three of Pentacles. So in a lunation cycle. Oh. From new to new. So at one new moon, we have the Three of Cups, which is a coming together. It's a sharing of a vision. It's community and open, vulnerable, airy sharing of emotion. And then we have the Five of Cups. So between the new moon and the full moon cycle, we may start to experience some energetic, emotional setback, right? It's like, here's the vision that we had. Here is the thing not working out. And then on the other side of the new moon, so this could be new moon, first quarter. No, I would need five cards for that because it would be new, first quarter, full, third quarter, and then new again. but maybe the new again brings us back. It's like right before the full moon, Five of Cups. On the other side of the full moon, Knight of Pentacles. This is where we pick ourselves up and we start to move forward, right? We got a vision here. We got a feeling. We connected to a feeling here, thinking that it would come through. We just sat there and waited for it to happen and nothing happened. Then it's like, oh, I got to do some movement. But this is an aligned movement. This is a movement that will generate a result with the Knight of Pentacles. And then by the time we come back to the new moon, we're in the Queen of Pentacles. We got there. And then whatever that is within this cycle, whatever completion we reach, whatever attainment we reach in a way that affects how we live our day-to-day life, because we move from cups to earth, from feelings to experiencing, it puts us in a Three of Pentacles space. And it builds upon that further in the next lunation cycle. And that's how we sort of achieved continued growth. And it's not that whatever we feel will immediately come. It's not that like we don't have anything to do. There may be some things. And the Knight of Pentacles is pretty slow. So within the space of like a few days, like the Knight of Pentacles is sitting in the space of 44 minutes. 44 minutes, this is like if you could take an hour out of your day, not even an hour, to do something that will move you forward every day, you'll experience a return on that investment. And then it's like at the end of the 29-day period, you reach the space that you originally felt. But for 12 hours of that, you were just expecting it to happen. But again, the gorgeous part is 12 hours of waiting and only 44 minutes of aligned action gives you this Queen of Pentacles energy. Now, it is like 2.8 seconds. So 2.8 seconds of bliss is better than nothing. But it's a 2.8 seconds of bliss that builds into something else that'll eventually lead to this greater understanding with the Ace of Swords that'll bring you out of these larger cycles and put you in a position of standing in your personal power. So then you can stretch this 2.8 seconds of Queen of Pentacles energy into a whole lifetime of abundance. So that's what I got. I hope y'all have a good whatever whenever you see this. I hope you're acting in alignment to make all that you wish to experience your reality. I hope you see some cool birds if you want. Like we were on campus and I was like taking pictures of like plants that I thought were cool or whatever. And she was like, oh, we should go to the Arboretum. Like if you like these plants, you'll really love those plants. And that's where I saw the red-winged blackbirds in the marshy area before we made it over to the Japan house. So it was like out of the trees into the marsh and then society because, you know, it was paved and there were like ornamental, like lantern statues and things. Let me see if I can show you one. It was a pretty good day. He said they have a pretty cool call, but I didn't hear anything. Oh, I didn't hear nothing. Okay, so I have the pictures of just the stone statues. Like this was the Japan house. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is the closest to Japan I've ever been. And you see like Japan house right there. And then there's it from like the bushes. But anyway, the stone lantern thingies. It was these. So yeah, there you go. All right. And I was like, ooh, it was a little overcast, but it was fine. There was this one part where we were taking pictures and then there were photographers around. And then all of a sudden, my friend became a photographer. And my dude friend became a photographer. And he was like, pose like this, do this, no, do this. Um, oh, Knight of Swords. I just saw the Knight of Swords under the Emperor and I didn't take it. The Seven of Swords, the Seven of Wands. And she was like, I don't know why he just like started getting so demanding. Like we were having fun taking pictures. I was like, it's probably because there were other photographers around and you know, it inspired him to take a more creative approach or to a more posed, finessed approach to some of these pictures. And then like we were walking and she just hugged him and she was like, "I love you." And I was like, "Oh my gosh, that's so cute." And I didn't have my phone in my hand. So, uh, it was awesome. It was such a good day. All right. The Lovers is behind the Knight of Swords. So this is moving forward with a certain, it feels like an energy of redirection, honestly. Because it feels like traditional Knight of Swords wouldn't necessarily move in a way that has benefit for anyone outside of himself, herself, and furthering whatever that knowledge is. But it's like now that Knight of Swords energy, now that truth is being pushed forward to a more united collective. And shout out to the angel up there, like, yes, girl, finally. Five of Swords is under that. And again, in this deck, there are the spirits around the Five of Swords that are trying to help us navigate those, but maybe in a not so present way because it's important for us to learn how to navigate spaces of challenge as well. Now, the Seven of Swords is coming out with the Seven of Cups. We have a 777 here. Seven of Swords, Seven of Cups, Seven of Wands. No Seven of Pentacles, meaning for me, this isn't something that we have necessarily been in the space of cultivating before, right? Like there may not be as strong of a foundation for this new thing as there is for the old thing. And under this Seven of Swords, Seven of Cups is the Eight of Swords. Something that we're not seeing, something that we're not sort of primed or positioned to support or give to, right? This is when we can get lost in options. I feel like this is also an energy of, again, the Seven of Pentacles isn't here. So there's a lack of determination or dedication. There's a lack of patience in growing and nurturing something. It's like, we take a sip of this cup, say we don't like it, and then we're already on to the next cup. And it reminds me of the green tea, no, the matcha latte I had yesterday. She was like, "You like matcha?" I was like, "Yeah, like I love matcha lemonades and like matcha teas." And she was like, "Oh, then you should try a matcha latte." And so we split a matcha latte. Um, and on the first sip, I was like, "Oh." And she was like, "How do you like it?" And then my dude friend was like, "Oh, he doesn't like it." But after I took the second sip, I was like, "Oh, okay, this is actually enjoyable. Like this is actually really good." Right? It's like don't be so off put by what something initially presents because there may be some preconceptions that you have that cause you to miss this, right? And more so than preconceptions, it may be expectations. Because the matcha lemonade is a lot sweeter than the matcha latte. And then the Knight of Cups is behind this Eight of Swords with the Page of Pentacles behind it. Moving forward in the heart space, bringing forward something new on earth, being blocked because we don't see it. I love that the Knight of Cups was there because this Knight of Swords moving towards the Lovers is a very Knight of Cups watery energy. And then Seven of Wands with the shadow side. The Seven of Wands is the card of minor strength. So we will sort of triumph over the shadow side energy. It just may take a little bit more from us than it will later, right? And this may be something that we're starting to do for the first time, standing up for ourselves in a way, being present for ourselves in a way, loving ourselves in a way that doesn't put us at the mercy of others. And then that leads us to the Queen of Swords, followed by the High Priestess. And under the High Priestess is the World card. Queen of Swords she was coming out a lot at one point, and then she kind of sort of stopped coming out. Like she was coming out, and then it was the Queen of Swords and the King of Swords, and then it was more of the King of Swords, and then she kind of went away, and then he kind of went away. But now she's back with the High Priestess. Almost speaking of like this is pre-justice. So we have pre-justice and minor strength, and the High Priestess that oversees, that observes the expansion of this minor strength into pre-strength into a more majorly aligned and grounded strength. It's like we've already gotten like minor justice down. Now we're in this space of pre-justice. We're in a space of elevating justice to beyond just ourselves and one personal experience and how we felt, because there are multiple sides to every story and not everything is necessarily intentionally malicious. And if we carry super harsh energy towards something that wasn't intentionally malicious, intentionally malicious, If we carry such harsh judgment towards energies that weren't necessarily so intentionally malicious, if it is more the result of a misunderstanding, then we have the opportunity to cut us off from something that will really be to our benefit. Again, with the Seven of Cups and that Seven of Swords, there's something here about not putting in the effort. And the Seven of Wands, there's no Seven of Pentacles here. Not nurturing any of these options until they grow into their full potential. Maybe because of what we've experienced in the past. Maybe we don't want to waste time, energy, or effort. But whatever it is, it may require, I was going to say carry, it may carry or require more nurture. And maybe that's why we ended the lunation month, the lunation cycle, with that Queen of Pentacles and with the Knight of Pentacles. The Page of Pentacles, again, was here beneath the Knight of Cups. And the Sun is beneath, the Sun is beneath the Page of Pentacles, and the Seven of Pentacles is beneath the Sun. So yeah, it's definitely something that we have to learn to nurture and give to. With this page, it feels like it may not necessarily be our dominant experience or thought with this, but something about this will tell us how fertile and abundant it can be when nurtured. And that takes me back to the message of the red-winged blackbird when it said, alternatively, the red-winged blackbird meaning maybe letting you know that you will be a participant of a close family emotional shift that is important to their personal growth. In other words, you need to stay grounded throughout this shift. You must also be sure that you allow them the space to make the changes necessary. Allow them the space to make the changes necessary. Hence, you must be in a supportive role without inserting your intentions or propaganda. Thus, the red-winged blackbird meaning is prompting you to try to be the non-judgmental, unconditionally accepting force that provides balance, grounding, and a haven for those experiencing change. Do not participate in the drama, merely be there for them. And I feel like that's very much so what all of like this would be us being quick to mislabel something or us being quick to not be there because of whatever we experienced in the past or whatever they're not seeing. But if we can hold space and be that place for them to, sometimes we just need a safe space to air like everything or to be and to be validated in that. But that little bit of nurturing, not only will it lead to the sun abundance, but it's like it'll also put into effect, it's like it sets the pattern and the foundation for us to also bring nurturing to other areas where it was a lot more difficult in the past. Like this is the first of many. It's because we can do it here that we now know we can do it here and that we can open up these spaces to allow ourselves to move through the world a lot less encumbered with the Fool and where we can fully claim justice. And again, all of this is hiding under the Seven of Swords and the Seven of Cups. Like we could go and do something else, or we can go and seek something else. But if that seed of resonance is within you, if that seed of love tells you to stay and to put in the work, to give space where it's needed, but not to withdraw your love, ultimately at the end of the day, not only could you potentially help someone else, but you're going to help yourself in getting closer to that justice. But it's going to require strength. Here's the Ace of Wands. With the butterfly transformation, it's going to require some strength to do it. And again, this is minor strength going up against this shadow side energy. But this is also the arena, the space in which minor strength can evolve into a pre-strength and maybe even a full-blown strength, right? Again, that's why we have this Queen of Swords and High Priestess there. It's a level of discernment and judgment that we're bound to reach. But again, there's something watery about this High Priestess. Maybe it's because she's standing on her blue cloak. Oh, look at those heels. Yes. Okay. Sorry. There's something watery about this High Priestess, just like there was something watery about the Knight of Swords going towards the lovers. Because now this is a High Priestess that could cut something off. But it's a High Priestess that is beginning, High Priestess, it's a Queen of Swords that could cut something off. but it's a Queen of Swords that is beginning to learn that some things can be nurtured, some things can be cared for. Sometimes instead of being so quick to just lop something off with their head, we can be a little bit more intentional and meticulous, a little bit more surgical, right? And then that way we only cut off what is necessary. It reminds me of that one day, let's see, it was a few days ago. I keep all of these. So with the milk, there was a thing with the milk. There was a thing with the milk. Here it is right here. It reminds me of April 28th. To prevent the spread of plant diseases, dip pruning shears into sterilized skim milk before using, right? This is the Queen of Swords learning to dip her sword in the skim milk before pruning so that she can excise the disease but also provide what is needed for the healing and for the recovery, right? It's like words can cut sometimes. And so that's why we need to learn how to also provide a kind word or to leave space for that kindness to sort of exist. And that was today with the lunation cycles. Happy new moon in Taurus that I completely forgot about, by the way. I completely forgot about this new moon in Taurus. And this new moon in Taurus is happening like 5 degrees away from my Taurus moon. So it's a conjunction for me, I guess, which makes sense. I've been feeling a lot of I've been opening myself up to experience a lot more. And it isn't always easy, especially when I'm dealing with somebody like this Libran friend. But I have consistently found that if I can hold myself together long enough for him to actually start talking and diving into something, then it makes more sense. Like how I said, I'm the type of person that will tell you everything that supports what I'm going to say before I say it. He's the type of person to just get to it. And he can be blunt and very rude. And that rudeness, more than the bluntness, or maybe the bluntness, it's abrasive. And so I automatically kind of sort of go on the defense a little bit. And then like on the car ride back yesterday, because I was like, let's talk about my resume. He's like, oh, I don't want to talk about it. I was like, no, we're gonna talk about this because I'm trying to do some stuff, girl. And you're supposed to be helping me, but right now you're slowing me down a little bit. But then he told me why. And like there's been again recently, like when he tells me the why, it's like, oh, like now I get it. But in my mind, I'm like, why couldn't you tell me the why first? Instead of just hitting me with something like all like rude sounding and everything. Like tell me the why first and then tell me the thing. But we don't all operate like that. Queen of Swords in the moon. I love that energy. This is a limited knowing. Even at her best, she's not the high priestess. She doesn't know everything, but she knows enough to go into the woods and not be scared. She knows enough to carry that torch with her into the woods under the domain of the moon, I guess. Also, it's a new moon today, so oh, Libra is the masculine side of Taurus. Queen of Swords, Cardinal Eric Libra. That was a moon in Libra. There's a lot of stuff in Taurus right now. But it's almost like maybe because Uranus is there, it's putting things, it's almost like it's switching the polarity a little bit, or it's bringing more of the masculine energy into it. It's almost like whatever the feminine is going through, the masculine needs to be present for. And whatever the masculine is going through, the feminine needs to be present for so that they come into a more balanced resolution instead of this completely feminine approach and this completely masculine approach and then having difficulty assimilating the two. If they can be present for each other, again, going back to that card of allowing the space for this emotional shift to occur, then it's like we can reach a more harmonious solution or a solution that's closer to I want to say realized or harmonized like the first time or the first few times instead of drastically shifting between masculine and feminine light and dark polarities. With communication we can get it more right the first time. Justice at the bottom, again, the Seven of Pentacles coming out. It requires this and it's worth it. I want to see what's behind justice, but I'm not going to look. Because it's not for us to know how things play out. And that's the thing that can trip us up about justice. I remember when Reem was live on the questions, the free questions, there was someone who kept asking about justice, and then she gave an answer. And then, but I guess it wasn't the answer that the person wanted. They wanted to know if they would have a payout. And that can be another thing that hangs us up about justice sometimes. It's like we want justice to play out the way that we want to play out. We want to be vindicated the way that we want to be vindicated or whatever. And in that, we can disallow something potentially better or ultimately what will happen. And if a payout is what justice is, then justice will be a payout. We don't have to put regulations and stipulations on it. Like, I trust the divine to handle those things, right? They're major arcana. At best, we're court cards. At most, or most of the time, we may be more like minor arcana, right? Or not. I don't know. Wherever you fall is where you fall. Take it as it resonates. I hope y'all have a good whatever whenever you see this. I hope you're acting in alignment to make that what you wish to experience a reality. I hope you come across a gorgeous bird or plant or something to make you go, wow, like Earth really is that girl. She really is that girl. She's really that like beautiful girl. All right. Bye.